Hi everyone, welcome back to Rubberboots. My name is Katrina and today I want to talk with you about resolutions, making changes, saying goodbye to 2020 and welcoming 2021. So I know that there's people who like making resolutions or goals for New Year's, and then there's people who do not like to make those. I am in the category of people who likes to make them. My husband is in the category of people who do not. So I understand there's both sides to it. But I do think that there is definitely some value to just reevaluating or looking at where you are in life and deciding if some changes need to be made for the next year. Whether you want to call those resolutions or goals or just having a look at where you are in life, I think that it's a good time just to see where you are and where you want to be heading. I kind of feel like with 2020 being such a curveball that a lot of us have had to reevaluate or sort of look at going in a different direction. So for some people, maybe your job has ended, or maybe what you wanted to apply for in school doesn't seem like a good idea considering the virus, all of these things. So I think that 2020 kind of changed our focus or, made us look at things differently. So I think 2021, going into it, we have, I wouldn't say more clarity because we have no idea what this year holds, but we do know that this is like a time we've never lived in before, and therefore we need to live our lives in a way that we've never lived them before. So I just want to give you a few tips to help you stay the course if you decide that you're going to make some changes or goals. There's so many different things out there, ways that you can do this. So these are just a few things that have worked for me, and I thought I would share them with you. So more recently, I have chosen a theme or word or something that sort of is what I'm wanting that year to look like. So last year, I chose the word blessed, and I really did have a very blessed year. It was challenging. It had a lot of ups and downs. But overall, I was very blessed. The number one thing, obviously, was having my little boy, Henry. He is a 2020 baby, so I will always look back on 2020, and that will be the highlight of the year for me. So for this year, I'm going with the word simplified, or simple, simply, something along those lines. What I am trying to do for this year as a theme is to really simplify my life, to really strip things back, to get back to my roots, to really get rid of the noise and clutter and just focus on what is most important. So I would encourage you to do the same. Maybe you're picking a word, maybe the word is growth or wholesome or adventure. Pick a word that kind of is what you want the theme of this year to be. And I think when you do that, it makes it a little easier to pick other goals, because when you pick another goal, you can see if that kind of fits within what you want that year to look like. My next tip is to break it into categories. If you just make a list of 100 things you want to change, it's going to be super overwhelming. So instead, I would pick a couple of things from different categories. So the category might be, say, work. Maybe there's things that you want to do work-wise that would be goals, maybe health, maybe your home, things you want to change, maybe family or things that are within your control for your children. But I would break it into categories and then just pick one or two things for each category and focus on those things rather than just having this huge overwhelming list that you really can't ever possibly even get through. So you're just kind of setting yourself up to fail. Now, my third tip, and this is probably one of the best tips that I was ever given, make your goals measurable. So don't say, I'm just going to do less of this or more of that. You need to say how much. So you're going to have less time on social media. Less than what? You can't reach a goal if you don't really set the goal. So if you say, I'm going to have 1 hour or less of social media every day, that's a goal that you can reach because you've actually set a number. If you just say less, you can kind of just slide back into your old habits and you can just tell yourself, oh, it's still less than what I was doing. So I know lots of people have probably talked about this before, but my tip number 4 would be to create habits. Don't just make goals. Don't just decide all of a sudden on January 1st you're going to get up early in the morning and you're going to do your big workout and you're going to only drink water and you're going to give up coffee. And then, by day 4, you're like, I can't do this. No, you need to create habits. So you need to do it gradual. You need to find ways that you can incorporate it into your life that it becomes a habit. They say it takes 21 days to form a new habit and 66 days before that habit is really something that has become second nature to you. So my encouragement would be to make a plan to do something for 21 days, maybe work yourself up to it, figure out how you're going to do it. And for 21 days, make that a habit and then continue it on. So you get to at least 66 days of doing it. And then at that point, it should be a habit rather than just a goal. And that is how you make the big changes, but broken down into little steps. My last tip is accountability. Tell your friends and family. Post on social media, whatever. It depends on what the goal is, but you definitely need people who know what your goal is. If your goal is to eat healthy, but you don't tell the rest of your family, they're going to give you treats. They're not going to know that that's what you're trying to do. So if you can get them on board and have them hold you accountable, that will make it easier for you to reach your goals and to stick with it because you won't feel like you're just doing it on your own. So a question to ask yourself is, if I don't make any changes, where do I see myself in 5, 10, 15 years? If you don't like the answer to that, those are probably areas that you should make changes in. You can also look at that question on the flip side. If I make these changes or these small habits or new goals and I stick with them and that's what I do for the next 5 or 10 years, where will I be? And if you like where that takes you, that's probably what you should be focused on. So on this subject, I thought I would share just a few points of things that I myself am going to do this year. And like I said for the last tip, I am holding myself accountable by putting this out on the internet. So for me, I have been doing a lot of thinking about where I want to go this year. And like I said, I really want to simplify. I really want to, step it up. And I really just want to declutter and feel like I'm where I want to be in life. So for me, one of those things is more focus on my rabbitry. That's definitely something I've been doing more behind the scenes. You don't necessarily see it here on YouTube, but I want to step things up in my rabbitry. So I have some goals that I'm going to be doing within that, but I'm definitely going to be placing more focus on my rabbitry and less focus on YouTube and on social media in general. I will continue to post on YouTube. At this point, I believe I'm just going to post once a week consistently. I'm looking at doing Thursday mornings and once in a while having a bonus video depending on how things are going. This is to allow me to have more focus on the goals and things that I want to do this year. So for me, some of those would be homesteading. I have already been doing a lot of that behind the scenes, making things like sauerkraut and apple cider vinegar and sourdough, a lot of things, and I want to continue in that. I want to become more self-sufficient and be able to make more things from scratch this year. I also want to get better with meal planning. Again, just going back to the whole simplifying, I want to have a simplified meal plan so making supper is less stress every day. I also want to do more preschool activities. I want to teach Levi more of his letters and numbers and really start more of a formal preschool education for him, especially because during these times we are home pretty much 24/7. We don't have anywhere to go. We really can't go anywhere considering we're in lockdown. So I want to make sure I'm using that time wisely. And one of the ways I want to do that is by doing more preschool activities with my 2.5-year-old. There's, of course, lots of other things on my list, but those are the general things just to give you an idea of what I myself am doing. I would love to know in the comments below, what are your changes? Do you have any tips on how to stick with and reach your goals? I would love to hear those in the comments below. I hope that you had a happy and safe 2020. Can I even say that? I hope you survived 2020, okay? And I hope that we can all go into 2021 with a positive attitude, knowing that can it possibly be any worse than 2020? Again, probably shouldn't say that. Let's just go into 2021 with positive attitude and make the best of yet another year. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey here on YouTube for 2020. And I will still be here next year, you know, a little less, but I'll still be here. So I look forward to putting out more content and seeing my channel grow in 2021. Bye, guys.